This one's one of my personal favorites. Calendar strip poker. And don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to take your clothes off because that would be terrifying. Um, but we are going to take one thing off. So, calendar strip poker. So many people think that in order to change our lives, we got to just keep adding new things. We've got to have a new personal trainer, a longer morning routine. We need to exercise more. We need to volunteer more. We've got to learn something, get a new skill, get a new certification. But the truth is, we actually just need to start by removing something from our schedules. What is it that we can take off our calendars? There's this great quote by Coco Chanel, the famous French fashion designer, that says, before you leave the house, take one thing off. She's talking about dressing with accessories and that less is more. I say, before you start your week, take one thing off. What is one thing on your calendar that you don't need to do? How can you take it off? When I was at the depths of my burnout, I had my schedule so packed. I learned how to do transcendental meditation and meditated twice a day. I was going to acupuncture twice a week, the chiropractor, getting facials, massages. I was doing those nutritional IVs, like total Southern California cliche right here. I was like, great, sign me up. If it's going to help and make me feel better, I'm in. I was going to every doctor, taking every supplement. My schedule was so jam packed with every recovery tool I could think of. I was like, am I relaxed yet? And needless to say, I wasn't. And that didn't even include all the stuff on my work calendar. I had to start taking things off that were no longer working for me. We have to be able to commit to less so that we can show up more. We are so good at overcommitting and then beating ourselves up about why we didn't do something. So commit to less to show up more. One of my favorite studies is out of Gartner, and it's a big research firm. And they talk about proactive rest. Proactive rest, something that we can incorporate into our day and into our week that we use to prevent exhaustion and burnout in the first place, instead of just being used to overcome it and recover from it. So many of us think that we've got to be on death's doorstep before we take a day off, before we cancel that open house, before we stay home from work. But we don't. I know at the depths of my burnout, I was eligible for a 3-month leave of absence, full pay, benefits, everything, because I'd been there for many, many years. But did I take it? No. I was too embarrassed. I was like, what is my boss going to think? What are my colleagues going to think? What's my team going to think? How do I come back from this? There's nothing wrong with me. I didn't take it. So how do we start incorporating rest into our day? Well, we don't start by taking off the most important things. Anybody who's played strip poker knows that. You start with the little things. What are the socks of your calendar? Those little things that are bothering you, that you don't feel like doing, that feel like obligations, that you can just remove. And I know that there may be some of you sitting there being like, yeah, whatever, lady. Like, you haven't seen my calendar. You don't know what I have going on. You don't know the commitments that I have in my life. I can't take anything off my calendar. Okay, well, I see you. Maybe start by just removing a little guilt, a little shame. Take off a couple of those shoulds. Remove a couple things off, lighten your mental load. Maybe we graduate to just turn the music off when you're in the car. Turn the podcast off. Turn the audiobook off. I know I love to sing as well, and my car is my own personal recording studio. And I sing at the absolute top of my lungs in there. And I'm not talking about these long road trips. Like, by all means, you blast that music and you sing. But I'm talking about those short trips to the office, to the grocery store, to the post office, the school drop off, the dry cleaner, the gym, whatever. Turn the music off. We don't have to be productive every single moment of the day and be like learning something while we're driving. No. Just enjoy the silence for a minute. Yes, You're with me. It feels awkward at first. It really does. But you will start to crave that silence. And what's amazing is that solutions to issues and problems that maybe you've been grappling with, they start to sort of bubble up when you finally just give yourself a moment to be quiet. So think through, what are the things that can take off your calendar? Where is your schedule heavy? How can you remove one thing? This could be a meeting, that could really be an email. Let's be real, there's a lot of those. Maybe this is the week that your kids carpool to soccer practice with somebody else. Maybe you've got plans 3 nights this week and it's already stressing you out. Reschedule one of the plans. Or better yet, just cancel. Cancel the plans. We don't have to do everything, because if we keep showing up for everybody else, we'll never show up for ourselves. So what can you take off your calendar this week? What one thing? And if there is absolutely nothing you can take off, remove a little guilt, remove a little bit of the shame.